If you want to settle in, first question's over here.
Hey guys, thanks so much for coming to Comic-Con. You get to keep one of those on the table. Take your pick. My name is Mark Walters of BigFanboy.com, and it's an honor to have the first question for this. Harrison, I did want to ask you, there is the obvious question of this is kind of a big return to sci-fi for you, doing a movie out in space. It's been a long time since we've seen you do that. And it does sort of seem like this character could be maybe like an older, seasoned version of Han Solo, like a guy that's now been put in charge of a younger generation of the next badasses in space. What was it about this particular role that made you say, okay, it's time for me to go back up to the stars?
Well, get back to the comment, your reference to the Han and Graf being alike. I would think nothing alike. Graf's a very complex character that is charged with an awesome responsibility, who recruits and trains young Ender Wiggin, and really in this construction of the story faces a lot of moral issues that are involved in using young people for warfare, and the complex moral issues really are part of Graf's story. Ender doesn't really face so much the issues of morality until the end of the film, when he knows what's happening to him. But Graf is aware of his moral responsibilities all through his part of the story. I think the book deals with a lot of very complex issues of social responsibility and the moral issues that one faces when one is part of a military establishment. I was just delighted to be involved in a film with such high ambition and such talented people. I think Graf is a much more complex character than Han Solo, which doesn't mean that I regret Han Solo.
I never said that. Like far left over here.
Question for Asa and Haley. These are characters I've admired since I've read the book. What did you love about them, and how cool is it to play these characters?
I read the book. I'm a huge fan of science fiction, so I had a great time reading it. And Ender's character, yes, the film is a science fiction epic, but to me there's a lot more to it than that in the novel. And Ender's character, one of the reasons it was so intriguing to me is because of the complexity of it. And me and Gavin talked a lot prior to shooting about where we wanted to take it, and we talked a lot about Ender's character and the constant internal struggle that he's facing throughout the film. His development is apparent, and it was really intriguing for me, and we had a good time experimenting with it.
Haley?
Something that I loved about the project as a whole was the fact that it had such a huge fan base. For me, sort of creating a backstory for Petra was also interesting because you're introduced to her a little further into the story. But one of the most exciting things is sort of experiencing the excitement that everybody around us has. It's been such a great experience, and we're so excited to share it with you guys.
Hey, Lynn Toll from Taiwan. I just wondered if you guys get a chance to check out the fan experience set up exclusively, for this event. And can you just kind of walk us through different rooms and how does it, resemble the movie?
I'll take it because it was fantastic to work with an incredible production design department on building those sets, and really thrilled and grateful to our studio for actually saving some of the sets and bringing them to show you guys. I think it's important, you think of these kind of movies as just big CG events, and they're really not. Wherever possible, and certainly on this movie, wherever we could, we built sets that the actors could move in and be in a space that felt as real as possible. Because you do need a lot of visual effects in a movie like this. But wherever possible, to have tangible, traditional, beautifully built sets, it really helps the actors feel that they're in a real environment. So I'm just very thrilled with the level of design work that Ben Proctor and Sean Hart, the designers, and Peter Lander, the set decorators and so on, brought to this. They did a great job. And you can see, if you go into the Enders experience, you can see the kind of detail, even in the bunk beds, the cupboards, look at those helmets. Hours were spent on figuring out how that glass in the helmet would reflect lights, because you have to embrace the reflected light. How would they create patterns? And then how would the lighting department create lights that would look good reflected in those helmets? So a lot of work by the folks behind the scenes. It's nice to be able to give a shout out to them. They did great work.
Over here.
Hi, Gavin. Lovely to see you again. I was wondering, you received a nod from the Academy Award for a very intimate movie, but you've also done huge epic sci-fi thrillers. Could you talk about what appealed about this movie in particular, and which genre do you like to head toward?
Wow, that's a deep question, Mark. Interesting. I suppose a lot of times artists sort of fixate on certain themes, and a lot of people say, well, you made Tsotsi, which I think is the film you're referring to, is a very small $3 million movie, and then here comes Enders Game. I don't want to belittle the themes that I'm focused on, but they're very similar. I mean, you have in both cases protagonists who are troubled kids struggling for an identity in a morally complex universe, the way Harrison described it. I mean, these are fabulously morally complex characters. This is not a story about good versus evil in a simplistic way, where the character is wronged and has to right the wrong through revenge. This is a case where the character is at war with his own nature, and that was the case in Tsotsi, and that was the case in The Wigan. It's just this time we get to play with a lot more cool toys, make some really cool big visual effects. But at its heart, I think why I love this story is it's still a character-driven piece. And what you get here with a film like this, and the fun for me as a director, is I get to have the best of two worlds. I get to play with big visuals, huge, wonderful visual effects, big, epic-looking stuff, but also still have this wonderful character-driven story that requires great performances and complex, nuanced performances.
Hello everyone, my name is Jace Peoples from Here Media. This question is for Harrison and anyone else on the panel that would like to answer. The anti-gay views of Orson Scott Card have been getting a lot of attention. Yeah, I'm sorry. The anti-gay views of Orson Scott Card have been getting a lot of attention since the promotion of this film began. Were you aware of Card's work with anti-gay organizations before you began working on this film? And does it at all change how you feel about working on Enders Game?
The question is for me?
Yes.
I'm so grateful. I think none of Mr. Card's concerns regarding the issue of gay marriage are part of the thematics of this film. And he has written something, I think, that is of value to us all to consider moral responsibilities. I think his views outside of those that we deal with in this film are not an issue for me to deal with. So I have really no opinion on that issue. I am aware of his statements admitting that the question of gay marriage is a battle that he lost. And he admits that he lost it. I think we all know that we've all
sorry, this question's for Bob and Gavin. When making this film, how far ahead are you looking for home entertainment releases, bonus features, commentaries? Are you thinking about these things while you're making the film itself?
I think producers have to think about these. I was just buried in the film. I was hoping to survive this one. Think about the next one. Well, go ahead.
You know, Comic-Con is about sharing sort of the behind the scenes and the experience of how we come to this stuff. So we're very conscious of trying to get as much material just to show how much fun we're having, and sometimes we're not having so much fun, just to kind of catalog what's happening. I think it's a value. In a way, I wish there had been more of this kind of stuff. When I was growing up, the idea that you can wait for yourself in film school merely by checking out the bonus features of a DVD is fantastic. And now we all have cameras, I'm sure. Have we got all your pictures for our DVDs? I'm kidding. We're very conscious from the beginning. Hopefully it'll be something fun to check out.
Hello everyone, my name is Connie Allen, I'm with Glass Magazine. As you mentioned, this is a very ambitious project with very complex characters. In what ways did you research and process your work in order to identify what the characters you create on the screen? And what part of them did you take with you while you were working on this project?
For me, having a novel to refer to is always helpful. I've written a few films that I've been adapted, and as an actor, the amount of resources and things you can gain just from reading the story as well as the script is so massive that it's something which is you just can't put down.
Are we all on this? I would say, again, having a novel to go to is so helpful. It's an extra 200 and something pages of just, ideas and clues and just so many things you can pick up on, whether it's written about your character or the other characters. There's so much there and so much to play with. And for me, this was actually sort of my first film that I had to do a lot of physical training, which was a lot of fun for us. We went to space camp. We learned how to march. We learned how to salute, and we learned different cadences. It was just, from day one, such a great experience.
Harrison, right here. You've had such great success doing sci-fi, the action genre, and so. But a lot of times, these movies, the benefit of them is they allow us to talk about social and moral issues that if you just did a straight drama, we kind of wouldn't accept as an audience. So I was wondering if you could just kind of take a step back and look at Ender's Game. What do you think we're discussing? What kind of conversations can we have from this movie? Although, obviously a piece of entertainment.
This movie, I think, was very prescient, and I think the novel was very prescient in recognizing something that we now have as a reality in our lives, which is the ability to wage war at a distance, and to do the business of war, somewhat emotionally disconnected from it. And so the morality of a military commander and the military command structure, the morality of a society which raises a military and wages war, are the moral concerns of this film, and they are something which we are wrestling with daily in our lives. The issue of interplanetary warfare is the science fiction aspect of it, but what gives it such emotional tone and reality is that these are the concerns of our everyday lives now. Drone warfare and the capacity that we have is one part of the moral package. The other is the use of young people in the business of war, which has always historically been the case. The youngest of our the youngest and fittest of our cultures have always been the ones who were first in line for warfare. And the question of using even younger people, in the book, Ender Wiggin starts out at 7 years of age. In this case, I think wisely, it has been changed to be a young person, closer matching. He says age 13. Was a wise choice. But the character that I play is responsible for manipulating young people in service of some perceived need of humanity as a whole. And no matter how you try and wrestle with the questions of warfare and the military, the more you realize how complex these issues are and how much attention they deserve. So I think it's really important for us to visit these questions, not only in the daily news and then dismiss them, but in our emotional and civic lives.
I think we only have time for like one or two more questions. I know back here we got one.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ford. I was just wondering if you could talk about your experience as an actor working on this film with Sir Ben Kingsley.
It was great. Despite his moniker, the sirness of him, there's a real guy there, a yeoman actor and very matey kind of guy, who I vastly enjoyed getting to know. I had not known him before. I had the pleasure of working with him as an actor was a real treat. As was, by the way, the pleasure of working with these young people who are enormously talented, dedicated, and devoted themselves to the telling of this story, and who also possess surprising craft understanding and skill. Surprising to me for their ages, but enormously talented young people. I give credit to them, and I give credit to Gavin, because casting is so important in these things, and it was a delight to be involved.
Last question.
Hi, my name is Rachel Oscar, futurepreviews.com, and my question is, for all three of you, what was your favorite trait about your characters, and are there any major moments in the film that you would have personally done different than your character?
What's that last part? Are there any?
I said, are there any major moments in the film that you personally would have done differently than your characters?
Well, for me, one of the things that I really enjoy playing with Ender is how he's constantly struggling between his brother and his sister, and he's almost like he's got two sides to him. I've always wanted to play a darker character in this film and in the novel, when there has his moments where he isn't a glorified hero, as with every human being we have a darker side, which I had a lot of fun playing with him throughout the film, yeah.
I would say my character is very strong and independent because she has to be. She's put into a world where she doesn't know who to trust and who not to trust, and in most cases there's nobody to look to. And I love that in a way because my character is one of the very few girls in the battle school and the only girl in the army that she's in. She's constantly working to sort of maintain the respect from the guys around her, and I think that when she meets Ender, there's this really truthful connection between the two of them that comes from sort of finding their way, finding their place.
I hate to cut you guys off, but we are actually running over to the panel, so we gotta go.
T-1000 can't stop me, I'm on fire tonight. Magneto can't stop me, I'm on fire tonight. Even Zod can't stop me, I'm on fire tonight. It's tight, don't even try to bite the cycle style. Mr. Spock can't stop me, I'm on fire tonight. The Wrath of Khan can't stop me, I'm on fire tonight. The Borg can't stop me, I'm on fire tonight. Because I've got space game and it feels alright.
One, two, three. Hello and welcome to Kenya. You're joining us, the Gloria Project here in the, actually it's one of the national parks here, and we're here to show you today a fantastic total eclipse of the sun. But the reason we're joining you now is that at this precise moment, a lot of you viewing in Europe, you'll be seeing the maximum part of the partial eclipse that you're getting. So we want to warn you, please, do not look at the sun unless you've got proper eclipse glasses or a proper filter. If it's damaged anyway, don't look at it. But what we're going to be doing a little bit later is going to be pretty good as well. We're going to be showing you the full partial phases and the total eclipse of the sun, which we're going to be experiencing here in Kenya. But now, I'm going to introduce to you, we're doing this in multiple languages today, I'm going to introduce you to Miguel Sierra Rica, who is the EACS astronomer. Over to you.
Thanks, Paul. Ahora hablaremos en castellano. Un saludo a todos, a toda la gente que nos estáis siguiendo. A ver, aquí estamos muy nerviosos. Aquí todavía no ha empezado ni la parcialidad. En Europa sí tenéis parcialidad. De hecho, en Canarias es el mejor lugar para ver en estos momentos el eclipse. Un 30% de ocultación. En algunos lugares de Canarias, sobre todo en Tenerife, parece que hay algo de nubes. Un saludo muy fuerte a la Orotava, a la Feria de la Ciencia, Ciencia Manía. No sé cómo lo tenéis, pero podéis seguirnos y aproximadamente en unas 2 horas y media vamos a conectar para ver la totalidad. Acordaros, no se puede mirar al sol directamente sin protegerse los ojos, ¿de acuerdo? En 2 horas y media, totalidad desde Kenia. Tenemos algunas nubes, pero esperemos que estas nubes desaparezcan. Un fuerte abrazo. Y ahora entrará en acción Liliana para todos nuestros amigos de Polonia.
Dzień dobry, nazywam się Liliana Trzpil, witam z Kenii. Chcę Państwu opowiedzieć o całkowitym zaćmieniu Słońca, które tutaj będziemy oglądać. W Europie w tej chwili jest widoczne jako częściowe, mniej więcej teraz powinno być widoczne. Proszę nie oglądać tego bezpośrednio gołym okiem. Należy oglądać przez właściwy filtr, to jest bardzo ważne, bo można sobie uszkodzić oczy. Słońce po zaćmieniu w Europie będzie się przemieszczać w stronę Afryki, w stronę Kenii i wtedy zaćmienie będzie widoczne tutaj jako całkowite. Mniej więcej za 2 godziny będziemy Państwu pokazywać relację z całkowitego zaćmienia Słońca. Proszę nas oglądać, ponieważ całkowite zaćmienie Słońca jest dużo bardziej widowiskowe niż zaćmienie częściowe. Dziękuję.
Hello and welcome back. It's me again. We are going to round up this little part of, it's just an introduction of what we're going to be bringing you today. So don't forget, we're going to be back in 2 hours' time, where we're going to be showing you totality from Kenya. That's going to be absolutely amazing. So please come back to the Gloria Project website and come and join the fun. Goodbye for now. Adios. Hello and welcome back.
No, sorry. 1 minute. Sorry. Well, you can see the time. Oh, look at him, yes.
Hello and welcome back to our live coverage of the Kenyan total eclipse. Now keep an eye behind me and we're going to be showing you some images very shortly. This has been the most dramatic period of time I think I've spent for a very long time. We just had first contact. We're here with the Gloria project and we had first contact, which is the first moment the moon crosses the sun. And just at that point somebody shouted, "There's a dust storm!" And suddenly there was this cataclysmic dust storm that blew in right over all of us. So we managed to capture a few images, but to bring you up to date now, we are just a couple of minutes away from totality. And totality, as you can see, hopefully you can see the sun where it's just trying to come through the clouds. Now, don't forget, you can see all of the information here on the Gloria website. And I just want to say a very quick moment here of the people who have helped to make this possible. Huge thanks to Gloria's streaming partners. We've got Sister Magic. They're an IT company who specialize in IPTV solutions and embedded systems. And they've helped the Gloria team to do this, as well as Canair Clouds. And they're a cloud-based company for content delivery, and they've helped us do this. So anyway, I am going to hand over to you now to Miguel Sierra Ricard from the Institute of Astrophysics in Canary Islands, who's part of the Gloria project.
Buenas tardes. Hemos estado a puntito. Hemos visto la primera mordida de la Luna hace aproximadamente una hora. De hecho, hay imágenes en la web de Gloria, en la parte de imágenes estáticas, pero ha sido increíble. Es mi 11º eclipse y nunca había visto algo igual. Hemos visto una columna de polvo que se acercaba hacia nosotros. Pensábamos que era un coche, no era un coche, era una gran tormenta de polvo, de lluvia. Nos ha tirado todo, nuestros telescopios, y bueno, ha sido imposible continuar tomando imágenes. Pero justo ahora es posible que se pueda ver la oscuridad. No tenemos los telescopios operativos. Bueno, vamos a ver lo que pasa. Agradecer tanto al proyecto Gloria, a todos los socios del proyecto Gloria, a nuestros socios en la retransmisión, Systematic y Canal Cloud. Y bueno, esperemos que la próxima vez tengamos un poquito más de suerte. Hemos hecho todo lo que estaba en nuestras manos para poder ver el eclipse. Ahora os presento a Liliana, que se encargará de informar en polaco.
Gracias. Dzień dobry, mówi Liliana Trzpil z Kenii. Niedługo będzie całkowite zaćmienie, zostało 1,5 minuty. Niestety są chmury, pada deszcz, dlatego jestem w ubranku przeciwdeszczowym. Także jest dziura w chmurach i jest szansa, że je zobaczymy. Bardzo ryzykowne, nie wiadomo czy będzie, czy nie będzie. Całkowite zaćmienie jest wtedy, kiedy ciało Księżyca przesuwa się przed Słońcem i całkowicie je zakrywa. Szerokość Księżyca jest zbliżona do szerokości Słońca, takie jak widzimy na niebie, i dlatego jest to możliwe. Bardzo jest to widowiskowe zjawisko. Na niebie pojawia się czarna kulka, która świeci, to jest bardzo niezwykłe, a dookoła jest płonący horyzont. Dzisiaj z powodu chmur nie będzie płonącego horyzontu. Nie wiadomo, czy będzie czarna kulka. Cały czas trzeba trzymać kciuki, żeby była dziurka w chmurach. Kenia normalnie jest sucha. Tutaj pora deszczowa występuje dosyć rzadko o tej porze roku i mam szczęście z dziurą.
Hello and welcome back. It's Paul Cox again. We are very, very close to totality. I think I just heard the shout saying 1 minute. Now, we were hoping to bring you some live images of this, but you can see it in the background. Because of the dust storm, we had to drag all of our equipment in, and people were hanging onto tents and all over the place. It was amazing. It was one of the most exciting things most of us have been involved with. But now is the time, and I'm going to talk. Naturally, I started talking quietly because suddenly it's going dark. And it's not a normal kind of dark. This is one of the most eerie... Wow. Totality is just seconds away, and it's suddenly gone darker, darker, darker. This is absolutely amazing, even through the clouds. Now we're taking photos now of this, and we'll share them with you. There's totality, and it still looks wonderful through the clouds. It is spectacular. That's amazing. And there's the diamond ring. The diamond ring just bang! And the sun just came out in time for us to witness totality. I'm sorry. I'm emotional. That was amazing. After the trip that we've been through, and the shadow is finally going away. Sorry, I ran away from the camera. I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to stay with you for the end of this. It was the most amazing thing. The sun is back out again now. Totality lasting just 14 seconds here. And I reckon we got to see half of that. Absolutely amazing. Now then, I've got to catch my breath. So our next person who is coming on actually has run off to see something else. So, but we weren't able, you can see in the webcam here, the sun has come back out again, and we witnessed totality here. It was stunning. After everything we've been through, we saw first contact. Yeah, I'm just being told that we're going to be putting pictures of this on the Gloria Project website as soon as we can after this broadcast finishes, because we weren't able to bring them to you live because we had to put the cameras away, but our professional photographers have been here, and they are some of the best astrophotographers in the world. Their pictures will blow your socks off, even through those clouds. We saw totality. What a wonderful experience that was. My guest is still actually enjoying the event, so I'm going to carry on talking to you. What happened here, just to catch up, if you weren't watching earlier, this is the Gloria Project. It's a live broadcast. I'm Paul Cox from slew.com, and this is the live broadcast of the Kenya total eclipse. Now, the partial phase is still going on behind us, so those of us who are here are going to be lucky enough to carry on seeing this. We are going to have a word from Miguel Sierra Rica from the Institute of Astrophysics and the Gloria Project. Miguel.
Thank you, Paul. At the end, al final, hemos visto algo. Siento muchísimo no haber tenido las cámaras, pero era imposible volver a poner de pie todo el equipo. Ha sido mi error, pero les prometemos que nos vamos a poner ahora a trabajar, porque desde dentro de las tiendas hemos podido tomar imágenes un poquito de esa corona. Ha sido impresionante porque, claro, con las nubes se han formado unos rayos coronales que han sido, muy interesantes. A ver, no hemos visto la totalidad, pero al final las nubes nos han dejado ver un poquito de la corona. Nada más, agradecer otra vez a todo el proyecto Gloria, agradecer a todos nuestros socios y agradecer a Paco, Francisco Sánchez, que ha sido un poco el líder y la persona que ha coordinado. Se ha olvidado de la cuenta atrás, no se lo vamos a perdonar, pero en Perú seguro que hacemos mejor. Recordar que vamos a poner todas las imágenes ahora en Gloria. ¿Tenemos imágenes?
Tenemos imágenes.
Vale, tenemos imágenes.
You can say it in English.
In English.
We're gonna get some images directly from the total solar eclipse, and we will upload them to the website. So please log into the website, and you will see all those pictures.
Paco, cierra.
Bueno, pues muchas gracias a todos. Perdón por haberme olvidado de la cuenta atrás, pero es que ha sido unos momentos muy emocionantes. Y nada, pues un saludo a todos y espero que el próximo pues también salga bien y que no haya una tormenta de arena, ¿no? A ver en el Perú, porque esto ha sido increíble. Do you want to say something? Or?
No, I've said enough.
Okay. Thank you very much to all the English community and bye.
Polish community.
And Polish community also, and to everybody, of course. Lily, come here.
Say bye-bye to the...
Say bye-bye.
Do widzenia.
And the images are in Gloria site.
I proszę oglądać stronę Glorii. Jak się wygoogla Gloria, www.gloria?
Gloria Dash Project.
Gloria.
Na plecach było napisane. Dziękuję, do widzenia.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye. Qué horror. Macho. Qué horror, macho.
Uno más.
Bueno, tío. Joder, macho, te juro que se me ha ido el... No sé.
Bueno.
Hay que hacer simulacros, tío.
No, bueno, yo no puse la cámara.
Enhorabuena, tío, está bien.
¿Tú dónde has estado?
¿Te ha gustado o qué?
¿Dónde has estado?
Oye,
¿Dónde has estado?
Paco. No te lo perdono.